Okay, we have a Meyer E47 here in the vise, and we're going to remove the crossover relief valve and show you the procedure and how difficult it may or may not be. This unit's a questionable unit. It was a trade-in. I don't know the history. I don't even know if it works. We're going to be rebuilding it in another video. It came in missing the acorn nut. I just put one on here a couple of turns before it stopped to show you the complete disassembly process. So we'll start right away by removing the acorn nut. The threads were damaged, so I couldn't get it on any further. You would use a 13/16 box end wrench or an open end wrench to remove this, and let's proceed. O-ring that sat in the groove here on the acorn nut, so we'll remove that. Then we're going to be using a 3/8 wrench, and this piece here with the threads has two flats on it where the 3/8 wrench will fit. Sometimes you can't get it on there. You may be better off with a 10mm. If you loosen the adjusting screw, it makes it easier to get the barrel out. Now, you can see the whole barrel just moved. The whole threaded piece is going to unscrew as a unit, which is fine because both have to come out anyway. So, let's see what we got in here now. Here's our spring. Sometimes you find these broken, rusty pieces. This one's actually oily and in good shape. Down inside of this piece we have the disc that may be rusted in place. You can actually see it's jammed down inside of there. It's not important that we get it out right now. We'll move on to the next step. The next step is removing the poppet that's in the center of this, and for that we use needle nose pliers. Grab the poppet, pull, and there it is. Wow, looks like Meyer M1 oil in this unit, which is a pretty old unit based on the serial number. You can see that the washer's on the end of the poppet with the taper facing out. We'll put this to the side. And then opening, sticking the needle nose pliers into the orifice here, and opening, we can grab the barrel that's in here and pull that out, like so. Now inside here is another washer. Move that. Next we need to remove the piece that's seated in the base, and that's, I refer to it as the barrel also. I'm sure it's got a particular name. It's escaping me right now because it's 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm taping this for you. This is the tool that they show you the specifications for in the back of the Meyer service manual for the E47, 57, and E60 unit. We make it out of stainless steel TIG welding wire. It's just a piece of very stiff wire. They say choke cable, but choke cable, in my experience, isn't strong enough. This is more like a car antenna. So if you happen to have an old one laying around, you can make yourself a tool out of that. Some guys say they use their wives' crochet hooks. Maybe. But a lot of these are very difficult to get out. Now, maybe this one will make a liar out of me and pop right out, which would be a good thing also. So this piece of wire has a hook on the end, and the piece we're trying to pull out has 4 holes in it. And we're trying to catch one of those holes, and we're going to firmly pluck this thing out. So we get it in to the center of it, and we feel until we feel like it's in one of the holes, and then we pull firmly and try to pluck it out. It's not always easy, like I said. Take your time, you'll get it. Okay, so I got the O-ring and the glide ring, as they call it, GLYD, which is like a nylon material. These we don't need, we just put these to the side and go back in again. Try to find one of those 4 holes and pluck this thing out. I have more than one of these tools. I'm going to try using another one and see if it's easier. We use these quite a bit, and you can see that this bend on the end is actually not as much of a right angle anymore, and it's slipping off. I'm going to see if I can straighten it up a little bit. It's very difficult to bend this wire, but let's see if I got it any better now. Again, it's a matter of finding one of those 4 holes. I have another one of these hanging on the rack right here, but it seems to be just as worn out, so let's try that one. May have better luck with it. And again, it's just a piece of wire. All right, now I know I got a firm bite. I can feel it. It's not coming right out. It doesn't want to be plucked. What we do in this case is we take a pair of needle nose pliers and we grab the stem of this wire and we pry. See if we can get it to come out that way. Again, it's a matter of hooking it and pulling outward. And you can see here it is on the end of the hook. And you can see those holes. I'll see if I can clean this off a little bit for you so you can see the 4 holes that I'm describing. There's an O-ring on here that you can remove, discard because it will be replaced. Use a little bit of solvent on here over our drain pan. Clean it up so you can see the 4 holes. Blow it out with some compressed air. And there you have it. It's got 4 holes in it. When you're using the tool, you're inserting the tool while this is in the cavity, and you're trying to get it in there and have it catch one of these 4 holes, like so. And then you pluck it out. Now for the next piece, there's a small O-ring that's seated in there, in the bottom of this cavity. Now for that we use a piece of MIG welding wire. You could probably do it with a paper clip. If you bent a hook on the end, we're going to go into the bottom of this cavity and try to catch that O-ring and pluck it out. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it comes right out. A flashlight will help. And there it is. And you can see just the way it came out. It's torn. There's a very good chance, or should I say it's almost definite, this crossover valve is not functioning properly. Possibly the plow didn't hold angle, or it released from angle in one direction but not the other. So, now we're going to grab a flashlight because we can't have just this. We need to find the missing piece. We don't want that in there. It's not uncommon when you do tear down the unit, which we'll be doing in another video, to find that missing piece lodged in the C-valve port or lodged underneath one of these fittings when we remove them from the PA block. You may find it down in that cavity. So I'm just going to grab a flashlight real quick and take a look in there, see what we find. A little bit of oil laying in the bottom. I'm just going to tip this forward to allow that to drain. And just give it a little shot of solvent. Because what I can see is a little bit dingy. And we can see that that missing piece of O-ring is not in the cavity, which means we're likely going to find it lodged in the crossover valve, in the C valve. Or it may have already worked its way through the system somewhere else, and we may find it in the reservoir. Or the pieces may have been small enough that they just got dispersed into the system elsewhere. So at this point, our crossover valve is out, and we're actually ready to assemble a new one and install it, except that we're rebuilding this unit, so we're not going to go any further at this point.